bought 13 Xbox One controllers that are broken. Let's see if we can fix them. Okay, we're gonna go through and we're gonna test each one of these and then make some notes of what's working and what's not. So this one has right stick drift. Okay, everything works on this one except it's got right stick drift on that right thumbstick. I don't even know if you guys can see it. Okay, controller number 2. Everything works on this one. So this controller is actually working. I'm gonna have to put batteries in all these and test them to make sure that they turn on as well. Controller number 3, no stick drift. Triggers work. Okay, everything works on this one too. It just needs new thumbsticks. Really bad. It's corroded on the battery. No stick drift. Oh, we got a stuck D-pad. So the D-pad is stuck in the right position. Let's put that down. This one won't even power on. Okay, this one won't even power on, so I'm gonna have to take this one completely apart. Power's on. No stick drift. I think this one might just need a good cleaning. The D-pad doesn't work very good on this one, but it does work. Oh, it might have a little stick drift. No? Okay, this one has another D-pad issue. Okay, on to the next one. There's a piece of plastic that is busted off under this thumbstick. So I need to take this controller apart and see what's under there. But other than that, this all works, so I just need to pull out whatever's underneath that thumbstick. This one I've actually tested prior. It had right stick drift, but I'm just going to double check it again just to make sure. Right stick. No stick drift on this one. Oh, there is a little bit of corrosion on that battery terminal that I probably need to clean off. 3 that are just working. This is another one I've tested prior. This is right stick Y button, right bumper. Oh, yep. That one might be shot completely. So it's not right bumper. Well, the right bumper won't even work. Right trigger and Y button. Okay, we got 3 more. Okay, everything works on this one. Okay, no stick drift. Okay, this is another controller that works. And then the last one. This one looks like a dog chewed it up. Pause buttons work. Triggers. All the buttons. Okay, I think this D-pad is bent. Or not the D-pad, the bumper. So these are all actually 1 bar. So I'm just gonna have to just swap that out with some extras I have. And hopefully the button itself works. Oh, it does. It's clicking. No, that's the trigger. So I'm gonna have to take that out. So this one is just the bumper bars. Other than that, everything works. Okay, of all of the controllers, we had 5 that worked, those 5 over there, and that one on the back. And then we had 8 that have issues. So let's start fixing them. So this one just had crap under the right stick, so I just need to pop that off and get whatever plastic is in there covering. And then I'm also going to swap out the thumbsticks. I don't have another blue one, so this is going to be a combo. We're going to have a blue and black thumbstick on this one. Okay, once you get those 2 little handle plastic pieces pulled off, just press in the thumbstick and then you can pry back on them. Try not to break them, but you do need a lot of pressure to get them off. Then you just use your TR8, I believe is what it is. I mention it later in the video, but a TR8 to get all the screws out. You got 5 screws, 2 on each of the handles, and then 1 underneath the security sticker. So then you can pull everything off and inspect what's going on. So there's just that little plastic piece. You can see it on the right side of my pad right now by the screwdriver. It was completely broke. Sometimes those aren't broke, they just pop off and you can put them back on the thumbstick itself. But that one was broke, so I mean, it doesn't matter if they're on there or not, I don't think anyway. Like, the controller still functions properly. I just think it keeps the button pressed down a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, that one was a very simple fix. There was like this weird slime for some reason, just gamer goop underneath. So I cleaned that up a little bit. Cleaned up the sides. The hand cheese really gets stuck in the crevices, like on the sides of these back end bits and then on the controller itself. And that can like act as glue and make it harder to pull off those back panels. And it's really annoying. So I like to get those clean and make it easier for the next person that ever has to take this apart when the inevitable happens and it gets controller stick drift. But that one was fixed. So on to the next one. We have a D-pad issue. And what I initially saw was it was super gross. So I thought I'll just take the whole thing apart. It is a process. You got to desolder the rumble motors and everything because you got to get underneath to the actual motherboard itself, because everything is behind that. So I wanted to clean the sponges, I wanted to clean the buttons, I wanted to get the D-pad part clean, and that was all it took, really, is just a good little cleaning. Clean all the button contacts here. I cleaned the sponges, I cleaned the D-pad itself, and it gets really gross. But yeah, that's all this one took, just some cleaning, and then I put it all back together, and then this one worked like a charm. So most of the time, if you've got button issues, I would say it just needs a good cleaning. Now, this one was a pain. So this had bad bumpers, but the bumper bar itself was actually completely bent. And if you've ever worked on Xbox One controllers, you know that there are several different types. You've got bumpers that are 1 bar. You've got bumpers that are 1 bar but different shapes, which is what I ran into here. And then you've got bumpers that aren't 1 bar, that they're in 2 different pieces. But then you also have different motherboards where the bumper buttons are either facing up or facing down. So it was just all around this one was a little bit of a nightmare. I had to find a motherboard that worked. I had to find bumpers that were also compatible with it. So this controller ended up becoming a Frankenstein. And then on top of that, you got to make sure that the faceplate is the correct as well, and that the thumb boards all work with the motherboard. So it was just a lot. It was a lot to do here. This controller probably took me the longest just because I had to part hunt for everything. But we got it, and it became a Frankenstein. I really liked the blue buttons, so I kept those. And this pretty cool blue controller ended up becoming like I said, a Frankenstein, but it did work. So now on to the next one. We just had another bad D-pad, and then the battery connectors were corroded. So with this one, I took it off. Just, you can pop that metal piece off and then pull up the D-pad. But then I quickly noticed that the bumper button, it was the right side, was bad. Well, it was actually busted. It was pressed in and was not popping back up. So what I did is I peeled it back, I inspected the button underneath a little bit more, and it was just completely broke. The legs were busted, so I just swapped the entirety of those D-pads, just the paper. You peel it off and you can put it back on. And then when you're putting it back together, the D-pad has 3 normal spots and then one that looks a little bit different. The one that looks different faces down. Put it on there, pop your metal back in. Then you can put the controller all back together. Make sure you solder the rumble motors back on, and then you're good to go. You can put the controller back together, and everything worked on this afterwards too, so we were good. And then I just scraped the battery terminals and cleaned them as best I could, so nothing too crazy there. Okay, this is the gray controller. This has the right stick, the Y-axis is drifting, so that means it is drifting up and down. So I'm going to show you guys on this one. I'm going to show you in the video different ways to fix stick drift. There's an easier way that sometimes works temporarily where you just clean a potentiometer. There's ones where you can switch out the potentiometer, which I'm going to do with this one. And then I'm going to show you guys how to switch out the entire joystick. But this one, I'm going to switch the potentiometer. I haven't decided what controller I like better, if I like the Xbox One controller better versus the Xbox Series X or S. They both feel really good, but something about this one might just feel a little bit more premium. But I don't know. I play with both. I have an Xbox One controller with Hall Effect sticks that I put in there, modded. Works great, it's a blue one. And then I also have a Series X controller that I play with sometimes. I have a Elite Series 2 controller, which I really like, and it may be my favorite controller. But then I also have a 8BitDo Ultimate controller that I also really like. So I don't know, there's a lot of good controllers out there. I like the PS5 controller as well. But all these controllers typically have the same issue, and it's just stick drift. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix it, and then I'm going to show you guys how to fix it permanently too, if you'd like. Okay, so we've got to get down to the board, and then I think I can do this without desoldering everything. This is just a thermal tape here, a heat resistant tape. Gotta pop off these thumbsticks. Okay, so we have right stick. Where did I put my... Okay, we have right stick Y-axis. So right stick, the up and down one is on the right here. So this is the potentiometer we're going to change. What I like to do when I'm changing these, I'll show you here. So it's going to be this one here. I like to mark them. So that's the bad one. That's what we're going to be swapping out. So the 2 bits you need to take these controllers apart is you need a TR8. If I can get that to focus. You need a TR8, and then you need a TR6. Because you got to take these little screws out here. So I'm going to try doing this without taking out the entire board. I don't want to desolder these wires. So it's this one here that I'm going to be taking out on this side. I'm going to be taking them out, and then I have a bag. I have a bag of potentiometers that I bought online. I think I paid like 10 bucks for 20 of them, or maybe it was even cheaper than that, I don't know. So I'm just going to swap one of these out for this bad one here. Turn on my desoldering iron. Flux just helps the solder flow. This the solder that the manufacturing companies use is lead free, so it has to get really hot. Sometimes what I'll do if I don't have a desoldering iron, which I do, I'm lucky here, makes it easy, is I will just add some lead solder in there just so it mixes in with that lead free solder and makes it easier to get off. Sometimes this is kind of a pain to get the solder off, but where I got the solder gun, it makes it really nice and easy, and it just sucks everything out. So Okay, that should do it. Put our solder sucker down. And now pop this puppy out. Just like that. So these are what usually goes bad. These little tiny potentiometers. Which I'm going to show you why the Hall effects are a lot better. These potentiometers use like contacts. As you can see here, it's got a, oh goodness, no, cover that up. It's got a little washer on the inside, metal, that contacts with this bit. Anyway, just kind of sucks how easily they go bad. Like I've had friends that have bought controllers and that brand new, and these are Series X or S controllers, bought them brand new and within a couple months have started to drift already. Okay, but once you get it pushed all the way through, it's contacting the board. Let's push it into the joystick. Snaps in. Now, gotta get our soldering iron on. Okay, that ought to do it. Got that all cleaned up. Let's get her put back together. Make sure you don't forget to put the thumbsticks on before. I've done it several times, it's annoying. Before I get this all put back together, let's give it a test. Okay, here we go. Got the controller plugged in, and it was the right stick that was drifting, and it is fixed. No drift. So just like that, swap out a potentiometer. Okay, another one down. This one works. Now we're gonna go do, this is the only Series X controller that I have in this lot. And this one is the left stick Y-axis. So I'm gonna show you how to kind of clean it, but I'm also just gonna swap the potentiometer on this one as well. So let me break it down. I'll show you guys how I clean these if you don't have any soldering irons or anything, but you can get into the controller. And then I'm just gonna swap the potentiometer after that. So these controllers break down the exact same way as the Xbox One controllers. You can actually hook up Xbox One controllers to Series X's, and I think it's vice versa as well. So once again, it's our right stick, or no, it's our left stick Y-axis. So we'll pop these off. Left stick Y-axis is going to be this one on the right. So, once again, if I can find my marker, I'm going to mark it so I know which one I'm doing. Don't forget to put the headphone thing back in if it falls out. So I'm going to show you a way to clean it and potentially fix it. Temporarily though. So, I mean, sometimes all it is these just get dirty. But you got to be really careful because you can break these. I've done videos in the past where I've actually broken these. So you want to try and get this open as gently as possible. Once you peel it back, gently, trying not to break it, you can take out the washer, and then I just do some IPA and a Q-tip. So IPA and a Q-tip, and I'll just get inside this potentiometer housing, give it a good clean, and then I will try to clean the washer as well with IPA. Pop her back in. And then just like that. Sometimes that'll work. I mean, like more often than not, that has worked for me. But once again, that's kind of just a temporary fix. Whereas, I mean, even swapping a potentiometer is a temporary fix because they eventually will go bad. But I don't know. I mean, I've had controllers that I've had for years and no stick drift, and then I've had controllers that I've had for a couple months and then stick drift. So it just depends. But once again, that's just how, that's a way to clean it. But I'm just going to swap this potentiometer anyway, just like what I did with the last one. But you already saw me do that, so you don't need to watch me do it again. Okay, here we go. No drift. Got her fixed. Just like that. Okay, now I am going to show you guys how to permanently fix stick drift with these Hall Effects thumbsticks. So these use magnets instead of the contact potentiometers, and apparently they're supposed to never get drift. So I have installed these in controllers before. I have one personally that I've been using for a while and it still works great, obviously. Once again, these are supposed to be like a more permanent fix to stick drift. So I'm going to be installing that in these controllers. I've got 2 of them here. I'm going to show you guys how to do them. I don't love these thumbsticks, so I'm going to have to swap these out when my replacements show up. But anyway, this is going to be how you can install these. You can install these yourself. You can get them online and put them in yourself. Otherwise, in the description of this video, I'll have a link to at least these Xbox One remotes. I have 5 of them that are available for purchase that you can click the link and go buy them. Or you can buy these yourself and install them yourself. It's really, really simple. But once again, if you don't want to do that, if you don't feel comfortable installing them yourself, you can just buy them. Buy the controllers that I have listed for sale. So I'm going to use a solder sucker to desolder this one, and then I'm going to use a heat gun just to show you guys some different ways to do this. So make sure whenever you're working with solder, you always apply flux. Flux makes your life so much easier. It just helps the solder flow, especially when you're desoldering, soldering using a heat gun. And like I mentioned earlier, this lead-free solder you need it to get really hot to melt. So yeah, I used the solder sucker and sucked up all the solder, and the controller thumbstick just popped out real nice and easy. And then I like to go in afterwards with the wick, get it clean. If for some reason you get solder stuck in, I have this little Dremel tool that I like to just help bore out the holes. Just be careful you don't ruin the pads, but I mean, it's really nice. So after that, you put the thumbstick back in. I like to add a little bit of solder to my iron and try to get just the mounting pins connected so that the thumbstick sits flat and even and level. And then I'll go through and just tack all the other bits and connectors on there. You've got 4 mounting pins. You've got 4 pins for the thumbstick button itself when you press down, and then you've got 6 for the potentiometers, 3 on each one. So now for this next one, I added solder, and now I'm adding lead-free solder, or I'm adding lead solder so that it heats up faster and quicker. And then I just use the heat gun, go in small circles, and just keep working at it and slowly prying underneath very softly until the thumbstick pops out. Once again, I go through with the solder wick and I clean it all up, make sure it's all nice, clean all the holes so that when I put the new thumbstick in, it just slides in real nice and easy, like what you're seeing now. And then again, apply flux, and then I like to add a little bit of solder to my iron, get the mounting pins in first, and then I'll just go through and add solder to everything else. Okay, we've got the thumbsticks installed, so now I'm going to I gotta clean this. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it. I'm going to clean the new shell that we're gonna put it in, and then we're gonna go ahead and give it a test. So I'll just get all put back together and we'll get to where we can test it. Okay, we got the thumbsticks put in. I already calibrated them. They look really good. Can you see that on there?
Yeah.
They feel way smoother too. So what these are, they're just magnets, so pretty easy to calibrate once you figure it out. Okay, so far we have fixed, I got 9 controllers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got one more pulled apart, which if I can fix it, that'll be 10. And then the other 2 controllers that I fixed as well. Those were my uncle's. I already gave them back to him. It was that gray one and the Xbox Series S controller, or X, whatever, either one. So we fixed a total of 11. If I can fix that one, that'll put us at 12. And then I think we started with 13 or 14. I can't even remember. So we weren't able to fix all of them. We're still working on this one currently. It has... the right trigger is pressed down all the time, and we're trying to diagnose it still. First few things we went through isn't working. And then we've also got the right stick, which I can fix, and then the right bumper, which I also can fix. But I'm not going to do that if we can't fix the trigger. And then I'll just make this a parts board. I actually think this chassis is fine with all the buttons. Oh no. I don't know if the chassis is fine or not, because it's the trigger ain't working. Oh dude, I think I found our problem. So I think we found our problem actually. The plug, there's 2 plugs on this. There's 2 plugs on these older, I think they're the older thumb boards, the joystick boards for the controller, and one of the plugs is completely ripped off. And we didn't notice it because it was stuck on the other side. It was stuck plugged in, but that is completely ripped off the board. It looks like all those pads are ripped off too. I don't know if that's even salvageable.
Yeah. We'll have to put new pads here on each one of these, and they soldered these little...
So that is it then, everybody. We were able to fix 11, and also just another reminder, I've got 5 of these Hall Effects ones that I have listed, so the link is in the description if you want to go check them out, if you want to buy them. If not, we also have linked in the description the Hall Effects sticks that you can go buy as well and try it yourself if it's something you want to try. If for some reason the Hall Effects sticks aren't listed, it's because they're out of stock and we're getting more. Same with these controllers. If these sell out quickly, like, we'll try to just keep them full and on the listing. So right now I only have these 5, so if you want them, you can click the link in the description and go buy them for yourself. Try them out. According to the manufacturers, these should never go bad. So I don't know. I've had one of these for like a year and a half and I've never had any issues, whereas I've bought controllers that have the potentiometers and they can go bad fast. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.